Ricky Gervais absolutely hates Ellen's guts, and he isn't holding back this time. What he's saying about Ellen should concern everyone, especially because it seemingly confirms a lot of rumors that have been floating around. One family has even claimed that Ellen tried to steal their children. So, what exactly did Ricky say? How did Ellen react to it? And is Ricky Gervais in danger? Well, we're going to talk about all of that and more in this video. For years, Ellen DeGeneres was the undisputed queen of daytime TV. Her face was everywhere. Her message was simple: be kind. Millions of viewers believed it. Hollywood's biggest stars lined up to appear on her show, and it seemed like nothing could ever damage the image she had spent decades building. Then everything changed.
The Ellen DeGeneres show is facing new allegations this morning of rampant sexual misconduct and harassment in the workplace.
Suddenly, stories started pouring out from behind the scenes. Former employees accused the show of having a toxic workplace. There were claims of intimidation, mistreatment, discrimination, and misconduct. The friendly image that made Ellen famous began to fall apart almost overnight. Now, comedian Ricky Gervais is making even more explosive claims. According to Ricky, Ellen had far more power in Hollywood than most people ever realized. More connections, more influence, more control. And he suggests there's a much darker side to her story than the public was ever allowed to see.
When I say everything, I mean people. I honestly, everything about people annoy me.
People annoy you.
Oh, they're the worst. They are the worst.
People are the worst.
They're absolutely the worst.
But what happens if
this world would be better without them?
At the time, many people wrote this statement off as a joke. But now, with the newest rumors about Ellen going viral, people have started revisiting what Ricky said. So just how powerful was Ellen DeGeneres? We dug through the allegations, interviews, and reports to find out what really happened. And the deeper the story goes, the more surprising it becomes. Ricky talked about how Ellen's brand was being nice, but she never seemed genuinely kind in the first place. According to him, the kindness felt forced. This was something even Joe Rogan and Tom Dillon would agree with Ricky on.
A lot of people saying that someone who seems so nice is not nice at all.
She doesn't seem nice, but that's people have a very poor judge of character. She doesn't seem nice. It seems forced. People that are like that all the time, she doesn't seem nice. It's very forced. And whatever, you're allowed to be a bitch, right? You're allowed to be a bitch. You're allowed to be nasty to people. You're accomplished. You're a comedian. You did the whole thing. What you're not allowed to do is have a Guantanamo Bay situation in the backstage of your show where everybody's walking around afraid for their life, and it's like Abu Ghraib where they're hooked up to wires and they
Dogs
have like
around them.
Yeah, she's got dogs and hoods. If an intern's late, they have a hood on. I don't support that. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Her entire brand revolved around one phrase: be kind. She repeated it constantly, encouraging viewers to treat everyone with compassion and respect. But according to former staff members and people who claimed to know her personally, the woman behind the cameras wasn't always the same person audiences saw on television.
For Ellen as well.
Yeah, I did the first 2 years on that show.
And she was
She was rough. She was the C word. Yeah.
Was she just short with you? I mean, what was exactly
It was like
happening?
if you didn't pitch in her wheelhouse, then she looked at you like you had just stabbed her puppy. And then there was this process of pushing people out of the circle. And you want to be in the circle because there's a lot of fear going on.
Yeah.
And you're in or out. So there's a lot of it didn't really bother me that much because I'd written on a lot of shows before and I kind of knew what it was like to have tough bosses.
Yeah.
I wrote for Bill Maher.
Sure.
And so I was just tough enough, but then there was these first time writers they used to cry. There was a lot of crying in the hallways.
Wow.
Many people alongside Ricky Gervais have confirmed that people who actually knew Ellen understood just how difficult she could allegedly be.
Also, we will have a hotline number later for you if you have been sexually assaulted at the Ellen DeGeneres program, which everyone that has ever worked there has apparently been goosed in the dressing room at the Ellen DeGeneres. What is going on at Ellen? She's out there dancing, and in the back, it's a free-for-all, apparently. It's the Marquis de Sade is running around the dressing room at Ellen, terrifying the employees. I thought she was just a bitch. That's what I thought. I know people that know her, but apparently it's not that. There's sex deviants running around, and they're making people feel uncomfortable. They're sick. get up how many people have been sexually assaulted, Ellen. I won't stand for it. I won't stand for this anymore. Do I like the show more now? That's the question. Do I like it more now that I know that Ellen DeGeneres has been running a room in the back of her fun, positive show?
But to understand how she reached that level of influence, you have to go back to where it all started. Ellen's path to fame wasn't easy. At 23 years old, she still had no clear direction in life. She painted houses, worked factory jobs, bartended, and even sold vacuum cleaners. Stand-up comedy wasn't even part of the plan. Her friends convinced her to perform at a charity event, and almost by accident, she discovered she had a talent for making people laugh. Ironically, she has admitted she wasn't deeply passionate about comedy itself. But her laid-back style turned out to be exactly what audiences wanted. Throughout the 1980s, Ellen toured the country performing stand-up. In 1982, she won Showtime's Funniest Person in America competition, putting her on Hollywood's radar. Soon after, she began appearing on major late-night television shows. A huge milestone for any comedian trying to break into the industry.
Just remember an appointment I have to get to, so I gotta go. How about that? Got who? Gotta go? Cute? Stupid. All righty. It was good talking to you, too. And I'll talk to you later. Thank you very much.
That's very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. That's very clever and very fresh and,
Well, that's wonderful hearing that from you.
No, I mean it. It's good material.
Thank you.
How long you been doing this?
4 years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you work in the comedy clubs and like the improv and...
Oh, a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
The road is tough.
I know, it's got to be. And it's always tougher for a woman to do comedy.
I say that, and men think I'm being chauvinistic.
No, it's not at all, because they'll accept a certain amount... they'll accept a little more aggression in men for some reason.
Exactly.
And
I think men can get away with a lot more.
Yeah.
And which is understandable, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's very good stuff.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I wish you would. Will you come back with us soon?
I would love to.
Okay, you got an open invitation.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Alan. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Everything reached another level in 1994 when ABC gave her her own sitcom, Ellen. She played a quirky bookstore owner, and the show quickly became a success. But television history changed forever in 1997. In what became known as the Puppy episode, Ellen's character publicly came out as gay. It was a groundbreaking moment. After coming out publicly, Ellen's career had slowed dramatically. She ended up accepting smaller acting roles in films that failed to make much of an impact. At the same time, her then-partner, actress and Heesh, also saw her career decline during their relationship. Years later, HCA spoke openly about the difficulties they faced together.
I did too, except I couldn't see the end of it because they ushered Ellen and me out of the premiere before it ended, put us in a car and said, well, we don't want you back here. We will not be accepting pictures of you and Ellen. And then I was fired. I was told before I went to the premiere with Ellen that I would be fired. And I was...
Are we talking about 90...
now you're going to put years on... yes.
92? Early, there was 2 volcanoes. Dante's Peak,
yeah, but they came out the same week.
Right.
Ours won, by the way, and then they blamed me for its failure for taking a woman. I was like, but we were number 1 in the box office. The confusion of how I was fired and the fact that nobody has ever acknowledged it is just shows, in a way, it shows how much further we've come. Because if that would have happened today, obviously it wouldn't happen today, and I feel glad that I'm a part of that. But yes, I met Ellen. Just to give you a bit of a timeline, because it's kind of interesting. I think people don't understand how quickly this all happened for me. On Sunday night, I met Ellen at the on Sunday, I met her at the Vanity Fair party for the Oscars. On Tuesday night, she was coming out on her show. I didn't even know who she was. This is part of the naivete that led my life to such destruction or celebration, however you choose to look at it. I fell in love with the truth of what that incredible human being was doing. Then I had to be in a relationship with her, so that was a little difficult. So I asked her to go.
Premiere.
And then on Wednesday, which was the volcano, I asked her to come and meet me for lunch at the Four Seasons, and I was greeted by 5 suits. Ellen was sitting in a chair, and I said, as far as I remember, I didn't invite anybody else to lunch today. And they said, we know that you want to take Ellen to the premiere, and we're here to tell you that you will be fired from your $10 million picture deal if you do it. And then Ellen looked at me. I was sitting on the armchair because she little Four Seasons chair, and she said, "Do what they say. You don't know what you're up against. We've only known each other for a couple of days." And I said, "I do know what I'm up against. I'm up against sitting in a room after you've just come out on national television to preserve the right of anybody to be able to love who they want to love. And now you're sitting in the soup of the demise of a culture that does not pay attention to that truth. I will take you to the premiere, and whatever those consequences are, my dear, I will face."
Ha said she tried to make life simpler by leaving Hollywood, moving to Ohio, growing gardens, writing, directing and building a quieter life. But she claimed nothing ever seemed to satisfy Ellen.
One Ellen controversy that isn't really a huge controversy, but has always irritated me, and I think it's the perfect way for us to close out this deep dive. During the pandemic, when there was a lot of uncertainty when it came to especially talk show television that usually had live audiences, Ellen made the decision to not stand by her staff, her writers, her employees, and she decided to kind of leave them high and dry without any kind of job, any plan, any severance, health insurance, nothing. And she hired a non-union company to film and produce the Ellen DeGeneres show from her home so she could continue to do the show while quarantined. The pandemic was already a scary enough time with so many people having housing insecurity, job insecurity, food insecurity, and to just drop your entire team of people who have kept your show running for so long is unprofessional and unethical at best, especially when you are a multimillionaire who could do a little something to ensure that your staff members will be okay until their next paycheck. Ellen's staff scrambled to find themselves work and new jobs, while Ellen sat comfortably in her home with her new production company doing The Ellen Show. While Ellen was in quarantine and doing The Ellen Show from her home, just keep in mind, we were all in quarantine during that time. We all remember what it was like, except for our first line workers. We love you. We appreciate you. But Ellen describes having to socially distance and stay home as similar to going to jail. Keep it in mind that at this time, Ellen was quarantined in her $15 million mansion with her wife, and that's just one of her mansions. Ellen has bought and sold over 50 properties in Los Angeles, and at one given time will own tens of millions of dollars in real estate. So really, if she wanted to, she could just go to a different one of her houses if she was feeling, so trapped and in jail. If she was feeling, like the walls were caving in her $15 million mansion. This did not hit for a lot of people, as a lot of people couldn't even pay their rent during the pandemic, okay? People were losing their jobs left and right. And it's just a very privileged take, especially with the fact that jails and prisons had some of the highest numbers of lives lost due to the virus because of the close quarters they were living in. With all that being said, I absolutely do not think that she is the kind, generous, loving person who she portrays on TV screen. I just don't think that she's that person. Do I think it's very telling of her character and her ethics and her integrity that she looks at figures such as Woody Allen as inspiration? Absolutely. That is nasty and disgusting. Ultimately, Ellen believed she had the privilege and the authority to treat people however she wanted, to treat people like garbage with absolutely no kinds of consequences.
And Ricky believes her power extended well beyond television. He claims Ellen had relationships with some of the industry's most influential people. People he says protected her, stood by her, and helped preserve the image she had spent years building. He has also suggested that Ellen's association with Jeffrey Epstein's social circle went beyond simply moving in the same celebrity circles. If Ricky is to be believed, what we thought were simply rumors were reality for a lot of people, Ricky included. According to Ricky, she knew more than the public realized, and like many other powerful figures, used her influence to protect herself. Even Ellen's ex-girlfriend, and Heesh, revealed that Ellen was ultimately power and money hungry and that she would not stop at anything to get it from people. So why did almost nobody publicly challenge Ellen for years? Ricky's answer is simple. Power. Power to influence careers, power to shape reputations, and he claims power that discouraged people from speaking out. Ellen has always had power to silence people.
That there was such a conscious, deliberate erasing of what it was that I was talking about is what we have to look at. Not what was done wrong, but why we were not able to talk about it then. Why were we not able to talk about love? Has it taken us this long to be able to do it? So we're moving into a next step, hopefully, And hopefully I have some more intelligence, I know I do, around it because I've studied it to be able to communicate a little bit better about what happened 20 years ago and the fact that it's taken us 20 years to be able to be at a point where we can listen to the truth again.
And Ellen's fine. She can sit on her pile of money.
I hope you like your money because that's why I broke up with you. Do you like sitting on your piles of cash? Because guess what? It gets you exactly where you are. And by the way, baby, and it's what you wanted then, and I hope you're liking it now. Cheers.
You broke up with her because she had a lot of money, or you broke up with her because...
I broke up with her because her goal was to have a lot of money, and mine was to find love, and hers was I want 60 billion. Good luck. Our forks are never going to meet. The further we stay on with this, the further we will be apart.
Okay. She didn't live in that loving kindness,
No,
did
she didn't. But you and I don't talk
only
about
she wasn't a dick.
Revenge a lot,
No, we don't. There's one thing that I remember. There is one little nugget that I do have a sense of wanting a little bit of. I guess the only word is revenge. I feel that you were so wronged. And now to know that you were continuing to be wronged, it fires me up a little bit. And especially, look, when you look at somebody like Ellen, who literally is sitting on a pile of $60 billion and then
could feed countries.
Right. And then
but you got a Porsche.
I mean, you're not hurting.
9. According to Ricky Gervais, the reason Ellen remained untouchable for so long was that Hollywood's system protected her. It protected her by attacking him when he tried to speak out against her. He argues that the same system has shielded many powerful people over the years by discouraging criticism, minimizing allegations, and looking the other way when influential figures were involved. But Ricky believes that protection is beginning to weaken as more investigate just truly what Ellen was up to behind the scenes.
Okay, Ellen's longtime former DJ Tony, who was her DJ before he was replaced with Twitch, also shared the sentiment that the environment at the Ellen DeGeneres show was a toxic work environment, which is very telling because if you go back and watch the Ellen DeGeneres show, Tony always had a smile on his face. He was always as happy as can be, never upset to be the butt of the joke. He just seemed like a very pleasant individual. Many have also come to the defense of Taylor Swift, who had a very uncomfortable interaction with Ellen when she went on her show. In one particularly awkward instance, Ellen was playing a game with Taylor in which Taylor was supposed to identify all of the men whom she had dated or had relations with. During the game, Taylor Swift was visibly uncomfortable, on the verge of tears, asking Ellen to stop. And while I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, I think it's very easy to offer one another decent human respect. And if she was in a situation that she was clearly uncomfortable, Ellen had the power to change that, and she chose not to. And Taylor Swift is most certainly not the only person who fell victim of Ellen doing this. This was kind of her MO. She wants to make her guests feel uncomfortable. She wants to kind of harbor an energy that makes her guests feel like they're being put on the spot. Celebrity or not, media trained or not, there's just certain things you can't prepare for. And there are certain things that happen on that show that just genuinely did not need to happen. Ellen would later go on to address the people who were calling her out for creating a toxic work environment and for being overall problematic with the way she interacts with her guests. But at the time, Ellen stated that she didn't really understand what the issue was, and she believed that the entire situation was very orchestrated and largely created by social media bots. I could literally go on and on about the awkward and the controversial moments that played out on screen of the Ellen show, but I want to go on and talk about some of the strange connections and friendships that Ellen DeGeneres has off screen. One of Ellen's many friends is former President George W. Bush. Ellen and this former president have even gone to NFL games together. They seem very chummy. Despite the fact that while he was in office, George W. Bush fought very hard against gay rights and the right to marriage, and he shamelessly facilitated mass unalivings in the Middle East while he was president, but that doesn't seem to bother Ellen. They are buddies. Pretty much any controversial celebrity you can think of is probably buddies with Ellen. Now, there's two two things that I want to touch on because I know that you guys will eat me up if I don't. And those two things are the passing of Twitch and the passing of Ellen's ex-girlfriend, Anne. So very briefly, in a nutshell, Twitch was the DJ who replaced DJ Tony on The Ellen Show, and he was also a So You Think You Can Dance alumni. In December of 2022, Twitch was found unalive in a hotel room not far from his residence. It was revealed that Twitch took his own life due to a self-inflicted wound to the head. When Twitch's mother found out that her son had passed away, she was immediately suspicious and believed that someone had harmed him.
That leaves several questions still being asked. What, if anything, did Ellen know about Jeffrey Epstein's circle? There are certainly some horrifying allegations surrounding her. One family in particular claims that Ellen even tried to steal kids.
Yes, it's one of those tearjerker shows. And so I just, because Ellen did two shows. She did one show where she kind of surprised them virtually with luggage, and they didn't know where they were going. And then she flew up into Los Angeles, and they just recently did an update on November 11th with a life-changing gift that she gave the family, okay? And she thanked your brother-in-law, Gervais, for his service, because he is a firefighter, and pretty much she thanked your sister, Shawanda, for, you know, I guess being of service to 5 children who were being placed in foster care and who were homeless. And she gifted them a brand new Hyundai Palisade and $50,000 from Hyundai, the actual corporation who makes the cars. And they actually sponsored the show. So they chose your sister, your brother-in-law, and thanked them for adopting. Did they adopt? Let me make that clear, because there's a difference between becoming a foster parent and adopting.
Well, they went through the process.
Okay.
Yeah, they went through the process.
And like when you do your introduction, we'll get into how like these things transpire in the state of Alabama, so we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And so, yes, I guess Shawanda and Gervais are adopting or in the process of adopting and becoming more foster parents in their community. So I guess they're in the process of adopting your 5 children. And so that is a big thing to do, to take in 5 children. But in your defense, this is all fake.
Well, they have went through processes, but
okay,
how kids get in this system is
While the evidence connecting Ellen to Epstein is circumstantial, and she may never admit to anything herself, many have speculated that we may actually see her exposed in the new Epstein files that dropped today.
Epstein's secret emails are set to be unredacted and released today. One of your top DC daily headlines for July 2. Epstein files. We're set to see another batch of unredacted files today, including 8 secret emails, both to and from Epstein, about a reported torture video. Well, President Trump's acting attorney general was told by a federal judge last month that the unredacted files must be released by today or submit a reason for cause showing why he can't.
Ricky's position hasn't changed. He believes that no matter how carefully someone's reputation is managed, the truth eventually catches up. It may take years or even decades, but eventually, he says, the mask slips and the public sees what was happening behind it. Could that be happening now? Let us know what you think in the comments below.